Hello, it's Clemmy from the NARM Clinic, and this week's video is on portion sizes. And I often get asked in clinic, what portion sizes should I be eating and how do I build a balanced, healthy plate? So first of all, how much we should be eating is very individual and really varies from person to person. It depends on a really large number of factors, but includes our age, our lifestyle, how hungry we are, what foods we're eating, how much exercise we're doing, also how we're feeling at that specific meal. But a really good way to help guide our portions, if we're not sure, is to use our hands. So I call this my handy portion size guide, and I've put together an infographic that's on my website. I'll link to it under the video. But I'll simply run through it now for you, but do go and check it out. So we should be having around a palm-sized portion of protein, and our protein comes from our fish, meat, poultry, eggs, natural yogurt, things like tofu, and beans, pulses, lentils as well give vegetarian sources and vegan sources of protein. Now, second of all, are our complex carbohydrates, and we should be having around a fist-sized portion. Again, that can vary from person to person, but that's a good kind of guide, is our fist-sized portion. So that's potatoes, sweet potatoes, our wholemeal grains, wholemeal bread, wholemeal pasta, brown rice, quinoa, and again, chickpeas, beans, lentils, etc. come into that too. The next third one is our healthy fats, and that's our olive oil, nuts, nut butters, seeds, cheese, butter, and we should be having around a thumb-sized portion of that with our meals. And then the last one is our vegetables. So these are our non-starchy vegetables like courgettes, kale, broccoli, peppers, spinach, aubergine, etc. And we should be having at least a cupped-sized portion with each meal. Now on the infographic, I've also put a picture of a plate and then quartered it up and sized it up so you can see a visual guide of what that should look like on your plate as well. Now, as you've seen as I've been going through that, often single foods don't just contain one nutrient. So a single food can encompass multiple categories. For example, a salmon fillet contains both protein but also healthy omega-3 fats, as well as a number of other nutrients like vitamins and minerals. And another example there is nuts, and these can be both a protein and a healthy fat. So if we're cooking or purchasing foods, we should really be mindful of where these nutrients are coming from and add things into the dish or meal where we see gaps. So for example, if you're eating out and you're ordering a meal at a restaurant, the meal might come with some protein, for example, say a fish dish, and it might have some carbohydrates with it as well, like some potato or rice, but it may be missing vegetables. And that can be really easily rectified by just ordering a side dish of vegetables to come with your meal. And that's something I actually encourage you to do anyway, even if there are vegetables. I'm a real fan of adding in as many vegetables as we can. And another example is, say, a vegetable soup, either one that you make at home or a shop bought one, which might contain carbohydrates, so something like potatoes, and also various vegetables in there as well, and perhaps some healthy fats like some olive oil. But it might be lacking in protein, just being a vegetable soup. And this is where we can add in something like perhaps some leftover chicken or some nuts or seeds, or perhaps adding some cooked green lentils or chickpeas will help to boost the protein content of that food or meal and make sure it's more balanced. So head over to my website, have a look at the infographic. I hope that it will help you to build more balanced and nutritious, tasty meals. And what I wanted to say just before I finish off is this is very much a guide, and it need not be rigid, but it should be used just as that, a guide. So something that can be useful when you're putting meals together, perhaps when you don't have a recipe and you're on your way home from work and you're picking stuff up from the supermarket. Just to help you get all the different little components that you need to make sure you're nourished fully and you're satisfied from your meal, and making sure that you have a meal that will keep you full until your next one. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions at all, then please get in touch and we'll see you again soon.